Hello, hello, Cancer. Mel, intuitive coach here, excited to bring in your March 2025 career and money reading. If you're interested in a personal reading, signing up for the monthly newsletter, or entering into the free reading giveaway, you can find all of that information in the description box below the video. All right, Cancer, what is in store for you March 2025? I feel like you are choosing healthier options this month. Healthier options meaning where you apply your energy. What takes up or consumes your energy? Does it feel heavy? Does it feel draining? Or does it feel uplifting and joyful? So there's a approach to your mental health, physical, emotional, and spiritual health in the month of March. This is at the bottom of the deck, the health card. Some situations that need resolution will be resolved and healed. Some of you may even be in the medical field, massage therapy, or any healing work, is what it says on the health card here. You may be in need of healing. The healer needs healing is what I'm picking up on. Now you have the Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck. This has been a common theme all across the board. So I'm now getting the message that this is collective. It's not just for any specific given sign. It's a collective energy of feeling suspended or feeling like you're in a state of suspension. It's because perspectives are shifting here. There is a release happening. The slump, the suspension, the delay isn't about lack of creativity, right? It's not that you cannot have access to that piece. It's about shedding your old ways of doing things. A new approach is needed, a new approach that feels more expansive versus restrictive. And the message I've been getting here, Cancer, and it's showing up for you with that Hanged Man at the bottom of the deck, is saying the ways in which you've approached things in the past are no longer going to work moving forward. So instead of pushing through, instead of saying, I'm just going to keep plowing or bulldozing my way through, this is about you going inward and listening, because oftentimes you'll see on the Hanged Man that the crown chakra is illuminated. Why? Because you're having a crown chakra activation. We all are. And this is helping us shift perspectives. It is releasing and letting go of old beliefs. This is the brink of an awakening. It's also Pisces energy. Pisces is currently in the North Node, and that's what 2025 is all about, is perspective. And A Course of Miracles, the book, defines a miracle as a shift in perspective. This is the year of miracles, but it's also about how you view the world, in which lens, right? What lens are you viewing your world? So that is shifting here in a very profound way. Now, with the health card, it says, it's time to replenish your energy, fully energized to prepare for what's next. If you are a healer, a caregiver, a light worker, a teacher, a coach, a mentor, whatever it is that you do, maybe you work in the corporate world as an accountant, or you have your mind on business, you still have to nurture and take care of you. So be mindful of what you are consuming, not just through your mouth with the food here, but what you are watching, what you are feeding into here, because your energy field is quite sensitive at this time. And I feel like it is important for you to take some time out, maybe even going to get that massage or that checkup, or go see a nutritional practitioner here in some way. Even though this is a career and money reading, those things can be beneficial for you on a holistic viewpoint, which holistically, you taking care of your inner self is going to roll out into your career and money. So health is being looked at. Now, for others of you, you could be in the health field of some sort, as mentioned, but this is also about nutrition, nutritional health. You may even be using products that are health or earth friendly. You may be looking at ways to help others out, maybe teach, coach as well. I like that. Now, your big three themes for the month. You have business. Your mind is on your money, money on your mind. Like, how can you grow? Don't be intimidated to enter the world of business. You got this, Cancer. This is part of your calling here. Whether you are building up a business, whether you have these ideas, you may be going forward, obtaining a certification or learning a new skill, enhancing your skills in some way, expanding those skills in order for you to take the next step, in order for you to show up in the world in maybe a new or different way. Some of you may be considering positions such as a CEO of your own business, right? It can be managerial or taking the next step in the corporate world. Elevating your awareness. Think bigger if you want different results. Again, that has been the common theme for the month of March. Think big, right? Expansiveness, not restrictive energies here. You have the office. So for some of you, perhaps you are called to be a part of a team here. This is connecting to someone at the office. All right, maybe you work in the office. You could be a secretary, a staff assistant, an office manager, or someone who is bringing a project together. It feels like there's creativity here. It's worth exploring. You may be working with professionals that are out of your field in some way, but they may be guiding you towards expansion. So perhaps you are contemplating selling a home, right? And you're not in real estate yourself, but you may be approaching a real estate office to ask for help or guidance, or it could be part of business as well. Money. I feel like money and establishments that can answer your questions or help you in some way to collaborate, to come together, to grow. I also feel like you may be looking at cryptocurrency or the stock exchange. You may be looking at the highs and the lows. They're giving me a line graph here, and I'm seeing the fluctuation. So it feels like you're looking at what is fluctuating at this time, and you may be asking, is this the best time to invest? Is this the best time to start a business? So there is a timing factor in play, but you have Gaia. You have Mother Gaia showing up. Trust that the universe has a better plan than sometimes we do for ourselves. Protecting the planet. I said that earlier, protecting the planet through maybe working with herbs or working with nature in some way. You're being called to use the tools that the beautiful Mother Earth provides. You may even be putting yourself out into the world in some way, helping shift the frequency of the planet, helping raise the vibration of the planet here, Cancer. Spend time with nature to be healed, soothe, and regroup. The health card could be you focusing on eating more plants that are homegrown, more vegetables, fruits that are grown either locally. Maybe you're growing a garden. This may be a good time for you to plant some seeds, because I feel like the next 3 to 6 years for you financially could be a very pivotal time. Some of you may be retiring. For others of you, you will be purchasing land or a home. It feels like stability here is calling you in a new direction, but this is quite exciting. So do spend time with Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, nature, replenishing, staying hydrated. And I also see the water in the background, which you are water. So this is about feeling through some of the changes that are coming in, allowing them to roll in. Remember, feelings are like waves in the ocean. They crash against the shore, they dissipate. They're constantly ebbing and flowing. So let's dive in here. Wow, you have the Five of Wands with the Devil right off the bat. The Five of Wands can feel like it's a conflicting energy. It feels like there's a bit of conflict. Mental health has been showing up. Some of you, it's going to be important to take a mental health day. Those are pivotal. Those should be scheduled into our daily practice and routine instead of it being like on the bottom of the list, right? We think of mental health days when we've already gone through something challenging, but it's important to prevent, like preventative care. Schedule in those mental health days for yourself to help you navigate through some of the changes, some of those ebbs and flows. Now, Five of Wands, you could be battling with some sort of competition, drama, adversity, maybe a group think, right? This can be a group think energy where a lot of people, Cancer, are focused on, one way of doing things and you get sucked into that. That's why you have that Hanged Man saying, what can you do to break free and think from a place of your own unique expansion here? Because the devil is holding you back. There's something it's like you're going with I don't want to say you're going with the crowd, but it feels like you are a trailblazer. You are the rebel. You're meant to embark upon a path that not a lot of people take because it feels better to be part of this entanglement, even if it's toxic. And that's the wrong perspective to have, right? I'm going to repeat that. Sometimes we stay in an entanglement, even though it's toxic, because it brings a sense of connection, because there can be a lot of it, right? Or because it's hard to break free from that mentality, or it can be hard to face something because of judgment or criticism. And I just feel like you are saying to yourself, no more. I don't want to be a part of the drama. I want to live a simplistic life, or I want to expand, right? Simplicity and expansion can actually go hand in hand. It doesn't mean that you have to go above and beyond physically. You can expand your own awareness and live a simple life. And I feel like, excuse me, I feel like the devil has challenged you at times to make instantaneous decisions or instant gratification. Oftentimes, that's why the devil shows up. Now, the devil is part of our human experience, right? It is instant gratification. He's holding the ice cream cone. He's holding the bag of money, and he's tempting, right? He's offering it to these children, and these children are hesitating, right? Should I talk to a stranger? Like, is this, even though that ice cream looks very tempting, is it poisonous? And I feel like you're saying, I'm not going to be tempted by the poison. I'm not going to be tempted by the offer, whatever that offer may be for you. Food for thought, because you have the food at the bottom of the deck. You have the ice cream cone here. And it feels like money is not going to persuade you, in a sense, where if it feels like you're on lockdown, or if you've wore those golden handcuffs in some way, I feel here, Cancer, like you're not letting yourself be controlled by an external energy, that of a quick fix, or again, instant gratification, because breaking out of the devil is more long-term satisfaction, even if it means that we are uncomfortable in the meantime, because there is something we really, really want, but we're not going to just say yes to it because we know that it's not sustainable. It's not long-term. Think about, if you say yes and cave to that ice cream cone every day, but yet you're trying to tone your body, you're trying to, cut yourself from sugars or remove them from your life, but yet you're tempted because they're showing up, it feels like it's going to constantly be a battle here, a battle. So you may be saying, I need to remove myself from the situation, from the environment, from the circumstances, or I need to shift the way I view this energy here. So yeah, I just feel like you don't want to get stuck in this Five of Wands criticism or drama or competition. You want to remove yourself from it here, and you have the ability to do so. I see that as well. Now, bottom of your read, you have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups can be second chances. It can be nostalgia. It can be reconnecting to a past energy. I feel like this has to do with your own beliefs, your own conditioning that you learned very early on in your life. This is about healing the inner child. embracing the inner child, nurturing her or him, giving him or her, what you didn't receive then, but now taking that accountability and saying, what do I need to do to show up for myself? What do I need to do to become the hero in my own story? That's what's happening. You're breaking out of a cycle. You may be the first in your family to graduate, to start a business, to move out of the country. It feels like you are the trailblazer is what I'm getting here. You may have people that follow in your footsteps is what I'm getting. It feels like you're going in this direction here and you're influencing and inspiring your own ancestral dynamics here, your ancestral wisdom. Now, 8 of Pentacles says you may be going back to school for continuing education. You may be in a field that requires a certain level of education, training, or you're learning through classes, courses, or workshops. You could be the student here. You may be taking, again, what you have learned, Cancer, and helping the generations after you, even before you. It feels like this is ancestral in some way. You have a lot of knowledge. You're turning that knowledge into wisdom by sharing it, by embracing what you've learned, turning it into that experience. You're doing something here with it, which makes the world of difference. You have the Empress crowning your energy. She is Mother Gaia. She is the divine feminine in us all. The Empress is highly creative. But remember what I said, it's not about lack of creativity or even being in a creative slump or in a state of suspension. You got plenty of creativity here. This is more about shedding the old ways, perhaps the old conditioning with the devil. This can be materialism, bondage, obsession, addictions, manipulations, whatever it is for you. I feel like you're shedding it. And by doing so, you really tap into that creative genius within, that creative, receptive part of you that instead of pushing through in a physical way, you're really going within and you're listening to your own intuitive wisdom here. And your intuitive wisdom is telling you, Cancer, that you're birthing a new cycle. And in this new cycle, you will not do things the same way. So imagine if you've ever had children, or even if you haven't, you may parent your first child in a completely new way, right? You may give birth and the way that you parent that child is different. And then your second child comes along and you have more experience. You have a little more wisdom. You may be in a different circumstance, a different setting. And the way in which you nurture that path is completely different. You cannot go back and do it the same way because you have that much more knowledge and experience and wisdom. And that's what it feels like this time around. You're about to give birth to something here, a new creative, project or idea or endeavor. And it feels like you're trying to go back and nurture it in the same old ways. But I feel like some of them old ways were based in protection mode, mother bear mode, or scarcity, or not knowing, not having the answers. It could even be fight or flight or fawn. You over nurture sometimes. And maybe this one, there's a little more expansiveness. Now in the near future, you have the Ace of Swords. This is your aha moment. You're saying, wait a second, I get it. I get that I have to do something differently this time. I know that there's a new perspective here, that I can shed some of the old ways, and I'm not a victim to my circumstances here, but I have the ability to give life, to birth something new into creation here. This is your aha moment. This is you coming up with an action plan, cutting through the barriers. This is you cutting, through this suspended energy with this sword here. And I feel like that's the unlocking. On the Hanged Man, he has that key. And again, it looks like a ghost key, a phantom key. You can't quite see it because it's invisible, right? But it's really not. You have it within you. But when we push forward without listening to our inner wisdom, it can cause us to feel stuck. 4 of Cups at the bottom, right behind the Hanged Man. Four of Cups can cause us to be focused on the past, to be focused on doing things in that same way, which causes frustration and boredom and stagnation and complacency and even lack of inspiration at times. But I said it's not because there's a lack of anything here. It's about shedding the old ways. And that's what you're doing with the devil. So you're cutting whatever this devil is for you out, or you're embracing the shadow by showing compassion and love and kindness for that experience, because you did what you needed to do in that first situation, that first experience, maybe very early on, or the first time you did something, maybe the job in the past that you had, or a business that you had in the past, whatever it was that you've done at that time. You've grown, you've matured, you've leveled up. And part of this aha moment is saying, wow, I have a new skill set. And here you are taken off in that Knight of Cups, and you're saying, I'm going for it. My heart is open here. This is about emotional depth. It's you following your heart and opening yourself up to seeing love, seeing connection in all things. It is the divine feminine. It is all about embracing a sense of togetherness. So whatever it is that you are heading towards, you have the heart open and you are ready. You've been preparing for this. So that past experience, that past rejection, the past does define us in a way, right? Because it's all of what we've gone through. But you can see it from a perspective of challenge and negativity and victimhood and martyrdom, or you can shift into warrior mode. Like, the past has helped me become who I am today, and I am skilled and talented, and I have unlimited potential that I'm tapping into, and I can move forward here. He's on his broomstick. He has the sharks that are swimming below him, but those sharks are a reminder of where he's been. And they're a reminder of keeping your vibration high, so you don't let those sharks kind of creep in, because the shark is the devil. The shark is the devil. I'm proud of you. You should be too. You should definitely be proud of how far you've come on your journey. Here's the Queen of Cups. There's a message here around filling your own cup, making sure that you are tending to your own needs. How interesting. We have two pregnant bellies. Is someone pregnant here? I mean, maybe maternal energies are kicking in, or someone is taking maternity leave. But of course, this is the birth of a new cycle. That's what the Empress represents. But for some of you, this is about nurturing something that you love. Nurturing something that you love, but also you, because you love you. So what are you doing to nurture your own body, mind, and soul at this time? The Queen of Cups, she fosters genuine connections. Not connections that are based on the devil, like a quick, instant, what can I get? What can I get from you? Only calls you up when you want something, if you feel addicted, bonded, or tethered to it. No, that's not what you stand for. The Queen of Cups here is a lover. She is you. She is Cancerian energy. This is someone who's nurturing, extremely intuitive. She's a healer. Could be a psychic, a tarot reader, or in the caring profession, as we've talked about here. And even if you're not in the caring profession, this is about you caring and nurturing your own self, your own body, your own mind, your own spiritual path and mission. And you've learned a lot about boundaries here. You've learned a lot about taking things personally. And if that's a struggle, go back and read or reread the 4 agreements. One of the main agreements is never take anything personally, because we see things through the lens of our own conditioning, our own past, our own experiences. And that means that however people are seeing things really has nothing to do with you. So never take it personally here. You may have gotten stuck on that. We all do from time to time. All right, what's the hope and fear? The 3 of Pentacles. I like that. When this is showing up as a hope, The Three of Pentacles is teamwork, skilled work, cooperation, coming together for the common good. It is about planning, wearing many different hats. It's mastery. It's skilled mastery. Instead of whatever this chaotic cluster is with the Five of Wands, everybody is arguing. You see the cauldron here on the Five of Wands. Everybody's arguing about what they want to stick in that boiling cauldron. They think that their way is the better way, right? They're challenging each other to their beliefs, their adversity, their opinions, their views. But you want to step into an energy where you can collaborate and work with people that even if there are differences, now this is the key, even if there are differences, which there will be, because again, we all have our own paths, our own history, but we can work through the adversity. We can agree to disagree. We can negotiate. We can compromise, but not to the point of compromising integrity, but we can compromise to the point of working towards a common goal, a common theme. And when this shows up here, the Three of Pentacles, that's exactly what they're doing. So some of you, there may be too many cooks in the kitchen. There may be too many whispers in the ear. Some of you are going to cut out people, places, things that are not beneficial because they're not being a good team player. You may be sticking to maybe three of you. There may be a group of three, or perhaps something has been compiling or taking place over the past 3 years even. But the flip side, the negative, the fear is not pulling your weight, someone not being a good team player, staying in that Five of Wands. Now, what's the outcome? The Knight of Wands. This is beautiful because this is someone stepping up in the Five of Wands there. Someone stepping up and saying, halt, right? Maybe that's the suspension. That's the Hanged Man. Someone is cutting through, slicing through with that Ace of Swords and coming up with a solution, saying that what we're doing right now is wasting time. We're arguing. There's conflict. There's drama. We all have a special talent. We all have a skill that can be useful putting into this recipe. But instead of arguing with each other, instead of, conflict, in a challenging way that's causing us to maybe lose out, miss out on money or time or whatever it is that you're wanting a return of, an investment, a contract, a promotion, a deadline, whatever this may be, it's being wasted due to ignorance or greed or power or control or whatever it may be. The devil mixed with the Five of Wands, causing it to kind of trickery. Someone's tricking. The devil could be whispering in someone's ear, telling them something that's not true, and they're spreading rumor, spreading gossip. It's like a he said, she said. Remember that old game of telephone? By the time it reaches the last person or even the original person, it sounds nothing like the original context of the message. So make sure you're going to the source. Make sure you're not trusting in everything you hear, because the Knight of Wands is flying in. He is slaying that dragon. There may be some bumps, some hurdles for you to cross, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. There may be some bumps and hurdles with that devil, but because you have the Queen of Cups in your energy, because you have the Ace of Swords and the Empress, this tells me that you're finding solutions. Conflict resolution, if you will. Whether that is you flying away and saying, I'm going to head towards a different path that, yes, is going to probably have some challenges along the way, but at least it's not, it just feels like something is very heavy. At least it's not stuck or tethered to whatever this devil is that's controlling it. The devil, it feels like someone in this group is controlling it, like mind control. It feels like it's a mental mind control here. And I just feel like you are either slaying it with the dragons, meaning you're not going to be a part of it, or you are coming in offering some sort of a solution, or you are getting on your broomstick and you're like, I'm just not going to deal with it. There's too much here and I don't want to be a part of it. kudos to you. Whatever you decide here, Cancer, it is in your highest good. You have Gaia, you have the Empress. I mean, you have heart energy. I see that you're wanting to maybe rise above the adversity, which is what I said, rising above it here. And that's what you're doing on this Knight of Cups as well, flying above the sharks. You're able to see something from a higher perspective, and that shifts everything. All right, let's get a message from the wisdom of the Oracle. What do we have here, please, for Cancer? Wisdom of the Oracle for Cancer. No place like home. Card 5050. Some of you may be 50 years old. Because you have the Six of Cups, there is a home energy in your reading. Maybe your home life, your stability. It could be your own authenticity, coming home to yourself, feeling at home, arriving in a place where you just fit in, and even being comfortable in your own skin. Because right now there's a challenge for all of those things. You're not quite feeling like you are with oneself. You may feel suspended or stuck here. Home feels safe and secure. It's a comfortable place to rest and create, a place that is known and you can call yours. This card signals that your ability to trust in yourself and feel at home in your own skin is beginning to solidify as you claim your dignity and integrity. Aspects of yourself no one can take away from you. You know who you are, Cancer. You hold your head high, yet with neither pride nor humility. Instead, you stand as the observer, seeing through the eyes of your soul. This puts you in a position of power and strength. You are safe here in the house of your spirit and spirit. Beautiful. And when you act in an authentic way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. That's the theme of your entire reading here. I'm going to repeat that. When you act, and you have a couple of action cards, right? You have the Knight showing up of Cups in your energy, and your outcome is the Knight of Wands. That is you embracing your heart's desire here, your own truth and authenticity. And when you act in that way, you command the world to reflect back to you exactly what is in your highest good. Your business choices, the investments you make, and the creative projects you immerse yourself in are powerfully on point. Why? Because when you are fully yourself, radically accepting everything in your journey to date, we said that as well, both successes and failures, you will see the divinity in all things. Abundance is a natural progression when you experience this kind of authenticity. Wow. All right. I like this. Now, I am going to read you the reversal because I'm getting the message here about old patterns from childhood that you may be stuck in. It may come from your home, your very early on home life. There are times when what is familiar and known is not the best choice. That came up in your reading earlier. I said sometimes we stay in this energy, in this conflict, because it feels familiar, right? Even if it's toxic. Yeah, that came up earlier. So human beings are memory-driven creatures, and we all look for certainty for what we know, even if the qualities we seek in other people and in external conditions are expressed in unhealthy ways. Avoid being too eager to find home. Choose something unfamiliar and trust that there you will find a new normal that supports your spirit. Remember, if you do what you did, you'll get what you got. Look at all the synchronicities here, Cancer. Do the opposite of what feels right, even if it's uncomfortable, because what feels right is really what feels familiar, and you will attract and be drawn to the very things that you don't want anymore. This time will not be different unless you do something different. I have full body chills right now because you are doing something different. The Knight of Wands, he's slaying that dragon here. The Knight of Wands is courageous. He's a risk taker. He's bold. he heads towards, his curiosities. And I feel like you're saying, this is what I want. I want the Three of Pentacles. I want to collaborate, but I keep doing the same thing over and over. Maybe it's time for me to face it head on. And instead of pushing through, maybe head on means listening, going inward, releasing the head, right? Releasing the beliefs, the perspective. That could be challenging it head on, but first being aware of what's really going on, holding up a mirror. Okay, let's get a few messages here from your spirit animals. And at this time, Cancer, if you can safely do so, please close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in from your solar plexus chakra, your belly area. Hold it as long as you can and release through the mouth with a nice big sigh. And with your eyes still closed, tune into your third eye chakra, the area between your eyebrows and your forehead region. And I want you to imagine the first animal that shows up in your mind's eye. Now this could be an animal that flies high in the sky. Perhaps your animal swims deep in the sea. Your animal could be wild, magical, mystical, or even domesticated. This could be a pet that's crossed over the rainbow bridge, one that's visited through your dreams, or even crossed your path recently in the great outdoors. There is no right or wrong answer. And if you need a moment, just pause the video and come back when you are ready. And for those of you that would like to be entered into the free monthly reading giveaway, all you need to do is drop your animal or animals, if you have more than one, drop them below in the comment section and I will enter you into the free reading giveaway. All right, your first card out, card 7. You have Bee Spirit. Sweet results await. That's the Empress, right? Sweet results. But I feel like your perspective is shifting here in a very profound way. You are connecting, you're tuning in with that receptive energy of the divine feminine. Sweet results are coming from it. Nightingale, love is all around. Yeah, there's another synchronicity here, another reminder that love flows through you. And when you start to view the world through the lens of love, you attract more of it into your world. Some of you may be 41 years old, 45 or 67. You have Wolf Spirit. Turn knowledge into wisdom. Wolf Spirit. This may be your power animal, your totem. For some of you, wolves are very symbolic. You may even be dreaming about them, or maybe you've recently seen one. Turn knowledge into wisdom. And then lastly, you have Parrot. Watch your words. Watch how you speak to yourself, how you speak to others. This is about the words behind what people are saying to you as well. That's why they call it spelling. They call it spells, right? Because it is weaving spells through our words. So be mindful of them. And last but not least, let's get a message from your soul's truth. What do we have here for Cancer, please? Soul's truth for Cancer. When was the last time you danced freely? Dance, Cancer, because it will shift you into a beautiful state. It will get you out of your head and into your body and heart, because fear lives in the head along with anxiety, control, guilt, frustration, and impatience. In just a few minutes of dancing, you will make the shift. You will feel a charge of joy and confidence take over, and you will feel a soul reminder to live and lead from your heart. Dancing is a tool to ground us in the now. It triggers happiness, and it is a gateway to freedom. To become free, dance. Dance for 3 minutes to your favorite song. Notice the inward fire grow within you and the feeling you feel being you. You are a wild, loving force. Express it with dance today. That is what I have for you, Cancer. If this reading resonates, please hit that thumbs up button. Feel free to share, like, subscribe, and hit that bell if you haven't already. Thank you again so much for tuning in. Lots of love.